This is the Relevant Podcast.
It's episode 969, and it's the Relevant Podcast here in Orlando. I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and joining me from Loverland, Virginia, it's Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Nashville, Tennessee, artist, producer, and mogul, Derek Miner.
What's happening?
And also from Nashville, just down the street, Relevant senior editor, Tyler Huckabee.
Howdy.
I told y'all last time that this month is going to be a bunch of weird shows and, not normal. And so here we go with The Boys Are Back in Town. We got a couple Boys Are Back in Town episodes lined up this month. So
call this the Gym Sock Show.
I can already smell it.
Smelly sweat socks.
This show is musty.
I always get nervous about these because Jamie's kind of the moral anchor, I think, a lot of times.
Yeah. It's not
all
that
the
she
time,
inserts
bro.
herself. It's just her being in the room. It kind of just makes you want to sit
She's
a
very
little
wise.
straighter.
Yeah, she's very wise.
Yeah.
She's good at what she does. And without her, it's ship lost at sea.
Because, otherwise it's the Axe body spray of podcasts. That's what's about.
Okay, hey, this is for real. And please, if one day, I know this is going to go out to the internet and one day my son might hear this, but he's in sixth grade. And there's something that happens when boys go into middle school and they start stinking. I picked him up from school yesterday and it was just like, please crack a window. What is going on? And we come home and I was like, can you go shower or something? He comes out 2 minutes later. I was like, you did not take a shower. He goes, I just put on some of my Axe. Mm-hmm. He took the stench and covered it with Axe Black. It did not help.
And it worked.
But Axe on stank is stanky.
It's like, man.
It's steak with a little kind of sweetness behind it. Like, ooh, what is this? Yeah, it sounds like candy has gone bad. You know what I mean? Like, that's the smell. You know, like it's spoiled candy.
And I think now it's just gotten so associated with guys trying to cover up bad smells that even if the Axe smelled kind of good, you're like, that's not a good sign. You can tell that it's like a clean room where you can tell it's all under the bed. Like,
if you're standing in the aisle at Target and you're sniffing the Axes, they're lovely. They're like candles, they're lovely scents. But the problem is the smelly boys put it on top of the smell. And so you got the smell with the Axe and
But to be fair, it's not like it's just co-incineration. When I was coming up, there was an Axe, but we did have Febreze. And Febreze, we would spray over any dirty piece of clothing, and it was clean again. In our mind, Febreze somehow extracted the odor and put in sort of this pleasant kind of floral aroma. And I remember my first apartment, we bought like a couch from a thrift store and it smelled so bad. And our solution was not to get it cleaned, but just to unload several spray canisters of Febreze on it and be like, from my understanding how this product works, this will clean the couch immediately. So did it work?
Not in my crib. Not in my crib. My mom's jokes were so visceral that you just had to do that one time and you would never do it again. By the time, like she would just be like, boy, you stink. And it's just like like not in front of just you. It's like we could be in Walmart. Boy, when you get home, you need to do da 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 da. And it's like, you like, man, look, I got proficient at taking showers and taking them well because I did not want to deal with the embarrassment of my mom going full Claire Huxtable.
Would she do that like just to you, or would she do it like for an audience, like kind of embarrassing you?
Oh, she do that anywhere. Like it's just church, whatever. You know what I'm saying? She like, boy, your underarms is tart. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is though, I think that's just I don't know. I think that's just black culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, or at least Southern black culture. I don't know, what it's like anywhere else, but I know just like in the South, in the area I was in, like we would just cook one another incessantly. That's how you know that I love you, is if I crack jokes.
I was
on
literally
you.
just gonna say that is your love language, is making fun of everybody. So that's where it came from, huh? Your family put that in you.
Facts. Visceral. Like if your skin is thin at our family gatherings, just your best bet is to just go in the corner and just be quiet and enjoy the show. Because if you make yourself stand out in any shape, form, or fashion, you are up for grabs. We're cooking.
Okay, so when you talk smack, are you preemptively talking it? Like, let's say, okay, like last year we were hanging out in Prop, and you and me and some friends were playing dominoes, and Prop is like the master domino player. So he's talking all this trash. Like he's just like psychological warfare, you know?
Yes.
And then I end up beating him, and he can't take it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a guy who's going to talk smack before the outcome is pretty well in hand or clear. You know what I mean?
Right.
Then I'm going to be relentless. He's doing it. And I wouldn't have said Jack if it wasn't for him talking so much trash to start with. I had to give it back to him since he lost. You know, make fun of him a little bit.
And you was cooking him. It was hilarious too.
I know. And he got so mad too. But that's my thing is like, I'm not going to roast people if it's going to come back to me. You know what I mean? I'm going to wait until it's a one-way transaction, you know, but
the only risk. The only risk is like when you watch like two little kid siblings or like two cousins like wrestling and they're having fun, but then one accidentally like a hand flies up and hits one in the mouth, and all of a sudden the fake fight, they're actually fighting at that point. You know, I've seen that happen too with Smack Talk where it's all good natured. Somebody crossed the line. And it's like, these adults are actually trying to hurt each other's feelings right now.
So that's the crazy part. Where how I grew up, if you get mad, it just pours on more. Like it's not like, it's like, oh,
when Prop
you're
got actually mad about losing.
Hooked.
It's just like that opened it up, and it's just pile on, man.
It's like for us, it's like you got to do something about it. Like if you don't like people talking smack, you got to do something about it. For me, I talk smack win or lose. It does not matter. And the reason I do that is because I remember my freshman year of college, I met one of my best friends to this day. His name's TJ. We used to tell everybody that we were like blood brothers because we both had the last name Johnson, right? And we were playing NBA 2K. No, I wasn't 2K. It was Live at the time. Live was what was popping. And I was destroying him. But he talked so much trash, I felt like I was losing. It was at that point that I was like, oh no, I thought my trash talking was one level and he took it to another level. It was so bad. We were playing actual basketball in the rec. We were playing intramurals, and it was not, if you know TJ's about 5'8", 5'9", and at that time was a string bean. That boy was thin. I'm talking about he was Kevin Durant, just got in the NBA then, right? We're playing these guys. One of them is 6'7". Another dude is like, 6'5". All of these dudes had handles. We're getting mopped, right? This guy that's 6'7" comes down the court. TJ is guarding him, talking trash to this dude. And then the guy comes in and lays it up and then looks at TJ, and TJ looks at him in the face and said, if you was really a baller, you would have dunked it. I was like,
man.
He made him so mad he started playing bad. I was like, yo, that's crazy.
There's stories of like rookies coming into the NBA back in the Kevin Garnett era, and it was like it wasn't just trash talk; it was genuinely hurtful. Like there are stories of rookies coming in like, and they're like, Kevin Garnett was saying very personal things into my ear and made me cry, and it's like it's next level smack talk, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's psychological warfare.
Yeah.
So that's what's going to happen on this show today. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have a great show in store for you today. Coming up later, we talk to hip hop artist Hulvey. He actually has dropped 2 albums in the last year. You don't want to miss that conversation. Also, we have a game at the end of the show that, see, this is an unusual situation. Tyler writes these games. Tyler's on today. Tyler is going to bring his own game. It's called The Truth Is Out There. It's about conspiracy theories. So it's perfect for Jesse and Derek. So, all right, that's coming up at the end of the show. Don't miss that. But stay tuned. Right now, up next, it's Slices. listening to John, Jen, Han, and Soren Bryce. The song is Young Folks. Little cover action there.
Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Mercy Ships. Globally, 5 billion people lack access to surgical care. In sub-Saharan Africa, there's only one surgeon for every 200,000 people. Mercy Ships provides free, life-transforming surgeries for people who have little to no access to medical care. They help the blind see, straighten twisted limbs, remove deadly tumors, treat cleft conditions, and so much more. With state-of-the-art hospital ships, they provide safe surgery to children and adults living with treatable conditions, and it's completely free of charge. They do all this work with an all-volunteer crew of professionals who donate their time and talents. Surgeons, stewards, nurses, engineers, and more make the world a better place. Your donation today provides free, safe surgeries to people in desperate need of help. All gifts are matched, so please donate today at mercyships.org/relevant.
Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Tim Tebow's book, Look Again. Have you ever wondered what would change if you truly believed you were infinitely valuable to God? In his New York Times bestselling book, Look Again, Tim Tebow reveals the powerful truth that when we learn to see the image of God in every person, including those we struggle to love, everything changes. Tebow shares incredible stories from his work with people the world often overlooks, and it will challenge you to stand up to the lies, rediscover the worth that everyone has, and impact the world for good. Find Look Again by Tim Tebow, available now wherever books are sold.
Okay, it's time for
Slices.
All right, what do you have, Jesse?
All right, so if you are in the state of Texas, you have the opportunity this week to go to the San Antonio Museum of Art to see a pretty cool piece. It's actually extremely rare, and it is the bust, like the head of a Roman figure. And this piece that it's kind of like the marble classic kind of white bust of a Roman ruler is 2,000 years old, which is that's a pretty cool thing to see. And it's not necessarily that the bust is particularly newsworthy. It's how it came into possession of that museum. A woman, her name was Sarah Young, was perusing an Austin thrift store a few years ago, and she saw this bust sitting on the counter with a price tag of $34.99. And she thought it looked just like the character Dennis Reynolds from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Being an Always Sunny fan, she knew she had to own this, and she named it Dennis Reynolds. So she bought Dennis Reynolds and displayed Dennis Reynolds in her home. She started to get the hunch that maybe this piece that she had bought, because of its resemblance to Dennis Reynolds from Always Sunny, may actually be worth something. So she started doing some research, and she got it appraised, and it turns out that this was actually a very famous but missing piece. At some point in the 1800s, it had been acquired by a Bavarian king, who displayed it in his courtyard, and he had got it from collectors who had claimed that it originally came from a villa in Pompeii from ancient Rome. Now, no one is quite sure how it ended up in the Goodwill thrift store in Austin, but they think that at some point during World War II, when America was fighting the Nazis, that American soldier found this and brought it home, and somehow it ended up in a thrift store. Now, it became, after they determined where this originated, it became a big problem for Mrs. Young, because unfortunately, due to international antiquities laws, she was not allowed to own it, and she was not allowed to sell it, which is quite a predicament if you have something you're not allowed to possess, but they also won't let you to sell. She said that the name Dennis Reynolds changed. She told this to a local newspaper, and because she felt like the name Dennis Reynolds, if you're familiar with the show, was even more fitting because the bust is very difficult, cold, aloof, an emotionless man that caused some problems for me.
She's a good sport about it. That's good.
So long story short, the Bavarian government claims that they are the rightful owners of it and worked out a deal. They paid her a small finder's fee, and it is going to be shipped back to Bavaria. But first, they are allowing a local museum there to display it. So moral of the story, if you see something cool or funny at Goodwill, buy it, because there's a high probability it is an ancient, priceless antiquity. That's the moral of this story. So,
the fact you left out, she's a high-ranking executive at Hobby Lobby.
Yo,
burn.
A classic Hobby Lobby. Whoops, I didn't know that. How did that happen? What? Are you sure? Are you
this
sure?
antiquity was stolen?
Look, I bought this rare version of the Dead Sea Scrolls at a Goodwill right behind the shoe aisle. So, finders keepers.
I don't know what to tell you, officer. The guy, he seemed all right to me.
I paid $12 for this. That's good hard-earned money.
Jesse, you told me right before the show you were switching from a different slice to that slice. What was the slice that did not make the cut? For that slice.
I'm glad you mentioned this. I'm glad you mentioned this.
I'm just curious. I'm just actually curious, just from you like deciding the content flow. You landed on that, but I want to know what didn't make the cut.
Well, given Tyler's game, I feel like the other slice would have been pretty fitting, because this week the Space Force, the new branch of the military, has released a bunch of patches and emblems for their different sort of like command units, and they are straight up bonkers. If you thought up to this point that Space Force, there's nothing nefarious happening with Space Force with aliens or anything like that, this is just something where we're going to keep satellites in motion, and it's not going to involve space battles. Look at these patches, and they are terrifying. They're the most heavy metal emblems that military's ever released. Like, one is like there's several with like owl imageries, like owls like grasping weird shapes flying over the earth. There's one that's like a 6-headed beast wrapping itself around the earth. There's one with a literal wizard on there. There's like, these are
official?
Yeah.
These are real?
Yeah, and they're awesome.
There's one that was like a human skull, like a skull inside of a spaceman's helmet.
Hey, okay. There's
also
one.
On top of that NASA is releasing butt naked photos of humans, hoping that aliens find them. So we're sending. Have you ever? I mean,
I thought that was going to be your slice, Derek. Or is that going to be your slice? You're just getting ahead of yourself.
No, I just think it's hilarious because I'm like, yo, we are here sending the nudes to ET, dog.
So I love that they're like, listen, we've tried everything to contact aliens. We've set up, we're sending pulses out there. We got SETI. We got radio
shows, TV shows we're sending out there.
We have that new satellite ship that's like making its way to Pluto. Some scientist is like, what if we try sexting them? And they're like, okay, I guess so.
We just gonna start calling NASA Hub. That's what we doing, bro. Just sending out the news, bro.
Do you think this might be a little? I hope this doesn't get too blue for the relevant podcast. Clark can cut it out. But do you think this is just a NASA scientist? Like, I've got an idea for how maybe I could get spice up my love life a little bit.
No.
I'll just tell people.
Here's what happened. Here's what happened. HR called him into their office and said, listen, we've seen your search history on your work computer. We need to talk to you about this.
Exactly
and he goes, no, that was work related. Here's what I'm working on. It was research.
Bill approved it over in HR, So
no, it's on the up and up.
Super important mission. Super important mission.
I gotta look at these patches. Hold on,
dude. It makes you think like, what is Space Force up to?
You sent an article link. I sent the actual website where you can purchase these US these patches. There's a Godzilla one.
Is going on?
But it's like, what is the military up to that they have like one of their official command emblems is like a giant Sasquatch creature grabbing the planet in one hand and wielding a sword in the other? Like, what is this supposed to tell people? Like,
I'm just wondering, did they find the graphic designer on Reddit, or like is the NFT designer or something? Because these joints, They're very metal. Like they're like these joints. Wow, bro. Like, what is this? A leprechaun blowing on a saw? Like, what?
That's what I'm saying. It's like,
Dude,
what is this? What is happening here?
Look at the one I just sent y'all. It's like I can't even describe what it is audibly. I don't even know what I'm looking at. It's like some sort of creature with a bloody axe.
Yeah,
but it's
that's the one I'm talking about. I'm like, what is happening? I'm like, is this an elf with an axe? No, you know what this is?
It's a bloody
this
axe,
is
though.
People, bro, this is people listening to whoever designed this is a big fan of the Joe Rogan podcast. And they've taken every conspiracy theory he has about the government, aliens, interdimensional warfare, and has made patches out of them joints. And he's like, watch this, guys. That's what's happening, bro. I refuse to believe that somebody rationally in the government made these joints.
But I think it's a recruitment tool. If someone's like, hey, you get a jacket and you get this sweet wizard patch on it. All right, I'm in. Can I get the troll with the axe too? Can I get the wizard, the owl, and the weird elf with the bloody axe? All right, I'm in this. I'll join Space Force if you give me a cool bomber jacket.
It's definitely an elf because it has a freaking pointy toes. Like the toes are it looks like something you would see on Christmas that wants to kill you. It's they literally made a patch out of Krampus. Like that's what they did.
It's an old German
patch.
wives' tale. Yeah, exactly.
Did anybody else have the weird experience I had scrolling through these where you're just, you've got like wolves, bears, the elf with an axe thing, and then towards the bottom left hand side you've got the Christmas wreath that just jumps out of nowhere.
Happy holidays!
Just a slap across the face.
It's like owl, space wizard, bloody axe, Christmas wreath. It's evergreen.
Merry Christmas. Something for mom.
It's like, wait, I'm on that squadron. I'm on the Christmas wreath squadron. I got a grizzly bear, some sort of weird phantom, 2 eagles and a 6-headed monster, and I get the Christmas wreath. Come on, guys.
It's the Toys for Tots squadron. Yeah. All right. What do you have, Derek?
Well, since we in the thick of it, let me go ahead and take it to the next level. The year is 2085.
Okay.
Huh? And religious warfare we have transcended from fighting each other on Twitter and Facebook to now we're going to fight each other with actual combat. That's what this movie is about. It's a movie with Patton Oswalt called, what's this thing called? Absolute Dominion. And in 2085, the idea is that in 2085, the way that you handle religious disputes is just Mortal Kombat. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So
perfect.
Yeah. I'm excited to see the movie. I hope that it actually makes it off the cutting room floor and into theaters because I think this is going to be crazy.
The idea would be that instead of a religious debate, instead of getting like Bill Nye in one corner and I don't know Ken Ham in the other, and having them debate creation, 7-day creationism versus the theory of evolution, you put them in a boxing ring and you say whoever wins. That's kind of like what we do here whenever we do the ultimate battle. Right?
Yeah.
We do Ultimate Battle here. And as a way of deciding forever petty internet squabbles, this movie is going to say by Mortal Kombat, if Ken Ham wins and can defeat Bill Nye in the boxing ring, then we say forever. He's right. It's creationism.
I just think reality has jumped the shark.
I was going to say it's a fascinating premise for a movie. The only thing unrealistic about it is 2085. That could be set in 2025, and I would honestly believe that it would be a prediction. I don't feel like it's that far off.
2085 is generous. Generous.
From solving our religious
things
conflicts by
changing quickly.
Maybe it should just be better that way, because then it does. I'm not a fan of violence. I don't advocate for violence, but at least then it's over. One person loses and, the ongoing just continue every day. I see these same 6 people on Twitter with the same stupid takes, and it's driving me nuts. And if one of them not dies, but if one of them was beaten so soundly that they were not allowed to post their dumb takes anymore, even if it wasn't a take that I agreed with, even if it wasn't my personal take, I think it would be better overall for my mental health on a day-to-day basis. I'm not advocating for this. I'm just saying there would be an upside to it. I'm okay with the idea of it.
I just think what would be funny is all of a sudden the theologians would be 6'7", Yeah. They be like 6'7", they be like 280 pounds.
Get some Krav Maga lessons.
Yeah.
Hey, the power team. The power team.
Thank you. I was going to do the second reference. I was like, we know, a pretty fundamentalist view of evangelicalism would probably come on top because we have the power team. Yeah. And I don't know who's going to want to step into the ring with the power team.
Yeah.
No, nobody. All right. What do you have, Tyler?
All right, so I think I've talked about this. Breakfast, my favorite meal of the day. I love a good breakfast,
and that's why you're a Christian, because as we know, there's no breakfast in hell. The Newsboys
that's the only reason. That's the big perk.
What did you just say?
The Newsboys in the '90s had a song that there's no breakfast in hell. That's the entire point of the song. It was the stupidest song.
A lot of people listen. A lot of people when they heard that. A lot of people, when they heard that,
it was a big deal.
Came to the Lord. It was the Billy Graham of pop songs.
I'm telling you, in the '90s, Newsboys.
Bro, you lying, bro.
Hey,
surely you shared a stage with those guys, Derek? Surely at some point you and Newsboys were on the same bill somewhere back in the day. Maybe.
Definitely we were, and they never performed that song, bro. I'm telling you that for sure.
That's a shame. That's a shame.
And I see why they never performed that, because that's the craziest song I ever heard in my life.
Hey, you make fun all you want, but I know a lot of people that are devout Christians today. I'm like, hey, what brought you to the Lord? What made you a believer? And they were like, listen, I was kind of on the fence about this whole gospel thing and leaving my intellectual comfort zone. But when I found out there's no breakfast in hell, I said, sign me up for this faith, because
I'm not running the risk of an eternal life with no breakfast.
It is the most important meal of the day on this side of eternity or the other.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you guys. I'm glad you brought that up, because there is, if there is breakfast in hell, this is what it is. We've created it here on Earth. So Tropicana has created this breakfast cereal.
Tyler,
Tyler,
my friend, Tyler. Now, you appear on almost every episode of this podcast, but I know now for a fact that you do not listen to said
sometimes
podcast.
I listen to my parts.
On the non-Tyler Huckabee part, 3 episodes ago, we broke the news about this Tropicana cereal where you were supposed to eat it with the orange juice.
Listen, guys, I think it's okay for us to rehash this topic. Because
you've been thinking about it.
This is so egregious.
Yeah.
Like, it's so egregious that you would take and put orange juice in cereal. Yeah. Like, it's so egregious that I'm not even mad at him for bringing it up. He probably, what wound up happening is he probably just blocked it out of his brain. The last time we talked about it.
Well, we posted on the site too. We have been on this beat because this is a very troubling societal trend.
But Tyler, to your point, even how you led into this, some enterprising preacher can, really frame a sermon illustration about, he's like, so there's annihilationism, which is the belief that after you die, hell is just ceasing to exist. That's serving no breakfast in hell. Then there's a camp that believes in eternal torment, like having to eat orange juice in your cereal every morning for eternity. Doesn't that make sense now? Don't you understand?
For people who, like me, did not blocked out the last episode, yes, the idea with this Tropicana breakfast cereal is that instead of milk, you pour orange juice in. Ideally, I think Tropicana orange juice. And I read some reviews of it online. Like they sent out some samples. We didn't get any, but they sent some samples out to other people, and everybody had the same review. This is disgusting. Nobody liked the people who got free samples, who it is in their best interest to be nice about it, were still like, this just doesn't. It was a good effort. This doesn't work.
And in hell, you got to eat that cereal and you got to listen to that Newsboys song around the clock.
No, listen. You don't eat this cereal in hell because there is no breakfast in hell, even gross breakfast. There's no breakfast in hell. Newsboys taught us that this is a Catholic purgatory situation. When you're in purgatory,
this is paying your dues.
Purgatory is water and Cheerios.
I need my white youth group friends to educate me on what is the premise of this song.
I'm going to read you lyrics from.
Please help me with this, because I've never heard this.
No matter how confused you are now, the lyrics are going to make you so much more confused.
Okay, this is like, I'm going to read you a poem. This is world class art. Here we go. It's from the album "Take Me to Your Reader." It's "Take Me to Your Leader." It's from 1996, the Newsboys, and the lyrics go like this: "Hold the milk, put back the sugar. They're powerless to console. We're gathered here to sprinkle ashes from our late friend's cereal bowl. Breakfast clubbers say the motto that he taught us to repeat. You will lose it in your gym class if you wait till noon to eat. Back when the chess club said our eggs were soft, every Monday he'd say grace and hold our juice aloft. Oh, none of us knew his checkout time would come so soon. But before his brain stopped waving, he composed this tune. And this is the hook. When the toast has burned and all the milk has turned and Captain Crunch is waving farewell, when the big one finds you, may this song remind you that they don't serve breakfast in hell. And it goes on from there.
I don't. This is the reason why evangelical's so weird today,
I
y'all.
don't get it.
In '96, we was listening to Outkast, Reasonable Doubt, all this. And y'all had to listen to this man tell y'all what no breakfast in hell.
It actually had, a lot of people, I was joking earlier, this was a major evangelistic tool. A lot of people actually denounced the faith after hearing this. it was like the
Michael Tate and Duncan, I love y'all, bro, but that was a dud, dog. I love y'all.
A dud that they dropped all the way to the bank because that thing was at every concert for about 20 years.
They ran it up. Oh,
it was a hit. It was a hit.
Hey, look, them cats got some money, bro, but that was a brick.
I really don't understand it. And I would let if any of the guys in the Newsboy, we've got love for y'all. If you want to come on and explain the intention, what the message there is, happy to have you. We would absolutely hear it out.
Tyler deconstructed after hearing that song.
I did. I spent a few years. I spent a few years well outside the faith. Yeah. Just because I'm like, well, I thought I understood what Christianity was. Yeah. I clearly don't. I gotta get out of this.
Oh man, that was good.
All right, so that was my slides. I usually do listen. I listen to the games because, as you guys know, when I write a game, I'm very curious to see how it goes over with the cast, and it really does give me a lot of joy to hear people. I think I hear you guys enjoy the games that I put together, but I don't always listen to the entire podcast episode.
All right, that'll do it for Slices. Stay tuned. Up next, Hulvey joins us. You're listening to Sunflower Bean. The song is In Flight.
Today's podcast is brought to you in part by John Mark Comer's book, Garden City, a book that speaks to the tension we all feel between work, rest, and purpose. The New York Times bestselling author John Mark Comer takes us to the scriptures to identify what it really means to be human and flips the script on the idea that who you are matters, not what you do. He shows that God created us for meaningful work and meaningful rest. Both matter. This book helps you ask and answer the big questions. Does God care where I work? Is there a direction for my life? So you can discern God's heart for your calling, your rhythms, and the way His Spirit wants to shape every part of your life. If you're longing for purpose and a more grounded way to live, check out the new hardcover edition of Garden City wherever books are sold.
Well, today's show is brought to you in part by the new book, God, the Science, the Evidence. We talk a lot about faith, but how often do we talk about science in the same breath? You might be surprised to discover just how deeply the two actually agree. For centuries, science has been used to dismiss the idea of God, but today an intellectual revolution is underway. Modern discoveries in physics, cosmology, and biology are consistently revealing the same truth: creation isn't an accident. That profound reversal is what engineers Michel-Yves Bolloré and Olivier Bonassi investigate in their international bestseller, God, the Science, the Evidence. This book is a rigorous, evidence-based critique of materialism, inviting you to explore over a dozen scientific, philosophical, and historical domains. It shows that what was once seemed impossible, that science could point to a creator, is now supported by a vast and convergent body of evidence. With over 400,000 copies sold in Europe, this book is sparking a global debate. It's thoughtful, fascinating, and a powerful reminder that reason itself affirms the existence of God. Learn more and find out where you can purchase your copy today by visiting godthesciencetheevidence.com.
Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Erwin McManus's book, The Barbarian Way. Some books don't just inspire you, they confront you. The Barbarian Way, now celebrating its 20th anniversary, is one of those books. If you felt the pull of God towards something deeper and wilder than the safe, predictable version of faith that we settle for, McManus reminds us that following Jesus was never meant to be tame. It's meant to awaken courage, passion, and purpose God placed inside us. He draws from the wild stories of Abel, Noah, Moses, Rahab, and others to remind us that following God wasn't meant to be tame. Safe faith isn't working. Step into the story God is writing for you. Choose passion, choose boldness, choose the Barbarian Way. Available now wherever books are sold.
Well, our guest today is hip-hop artist Hulvey. The Georgia native had a very busy 2021. He released 2 full-length albums. He had Coma and Christopher, which highlighted his chameleon-like ability to shift through multiple styles and genres, which you can also check out through his collaborations with the likes of Lecrae, KB, and Crowder. Well, we sat down with him to talk about his long journey to the Christian hip-hop world, what he sees as the future for Christians who want to make their impact on culture, and why he thinks hip-hop is the perfect vehicle for real theology. Here's our conversation with Hulvey.
This ain't doomsday, just that credit tune day. This my redemption for every day I threw away. I'd rather be a man than a rap star. I'd rather put the Bible where the plaques are. Traded in my shackles for a necklace. Head on a swivel like I'm necklace. Yeah, I'm unashamed and I'm reckless. Sir, ID please. Boy, I'm on a
Well, hey, man, it's really nice to meet you. I've obviously heard your name a lot and love all the Reach guys, and they all speak really highly of you, so I'm glad this is able to work out.
Oh, thanks, bro. No, I'm excited.
Do you mind just start by sharing a little bit about, giving me a little bit of your origin story, how you got into music and your journey from where you started to where you are now?
Yeah, so I grew up in Brunswick, Georgia, a small town in South Georgia. And, you know, when I was in middle school, I really started getting introduced to like hip hop culture, you know, like Eminem and Lil Wayne, and as well as Lecrae. And what was cool was, around that time, man, I really just kind of had got into battle rap and stuff like that. It was real interesting to me. And so my start in rap was really just battling people at school. And I just found a passion for it because I was like, man, it just feels good to be able to, at the time, this was the wrong mindset, but it feels good to be able to beat these people in battle rapping. And so from there, man, I kind of would just hone the craft by just having fun. And then when I got to high school, it eventually kind of became more serious. I met a guy who made music, and he kind of started showing me more of like how to really write, you know what I mean? How to structure my bars and stuff like that. I entered a talent show and then I won. And then from there, man, I just kind of started taking it serious. And then when I went to college, a little bit before college, I was making a lot of demos. But then when I went to college, it was just like, I was just going hard. I started talking with the Reach A&R, and man, the rest was history. We just started building, and yeah, bro. Yeah, so that's a super short version, but
yeah. Let me ask you this: when you were younger, when you were doing high school and stuff, did you have like a community of people around you who you feel like really got hip hop in the way that cared about it and the way you cared about it, or did you feel kind of like on your own?
So yeah, in high school, I feel like there was definitely some people who definitely loved hip hop. But I wouldn't say there was many peers like me. You know what I mean? So like some people rocked with it, some didn't. But like as a whole, yeah, I kind of did feel a little isolated just because I was like, dang, who's there? The good thing is my best friend, his name is Bailey Unterwagner. At the time, man, he kind of managed me like, you know, like just, I think it was a way for us both to do this and not do it alone. So I ended up kind of having somebody alongside of me. But for the most part, man, I mean, yeah, bro, not everyone understood, and you know, some did. And even like the church I grew up in, I know they didn't get it. Even when like I guess around the time that I started getting signed and stuff, they started to see it more. But it was just interesting because, yeah, bro, hip hop culture doesn't always have a clean relationship with other people because of the way that they view it, you know, and I'm sure we can all attest to that we've seen that before.
I had a dream to go to the league. Picked up the plans and hopped on the team. We ran it up when I let go. 2000. I had a dream to go to the moon. With the rock in my hand, I'm doing my dance.
I think, from my perspective, at least right now, the Christian hip hop community doesn't really have to fight for legitimacy anymore. I think there's enough of you guys have really done it with a lot of excellence to the point where you're known, you're respected, you're right. Considered real players in the game. What do you think is next? Now that there's legitimacy, where would you like to see the community go, and what do you see your role in particular being in that?
I think what's next is something that is like the next stage that like none of us have seen before, where I think now the talent bed is just bigger than it's ever been. So you got guys like, Caleb Gordon, guys like Mike Teasy. These dudes are on TikTok. Emmanuel the Prophet, dudes that are just making music that they love, but they're not really too infiltrated in the CHH circle. They're just kind of doing them. And I think that we're about to start seeing and I think we already are, a huge array of talent coming from all angles and from different walks of life. And all these people love God. And I think that's what we're about to start to see. Thanks to TikTok and to even Instagram, just the way things are moving. And I also feel like the heart of everything is continuing to get closer to God. And I'm so encouraged by that. And I think that is just because of dudes who love God that have pushed, dudes and women that love God that have pushed for, that have just pushed to be love. And I think, it's been cool because I know it's encouraging other people. And so I think we're going to see more wholesome content as well. Because I think there's a stage of Christian hip hop where people felt like they had to be like the world, and I get it, you know what I mean? And that's no knock to people who are doing it, because some of it makes sense. And some of it's like, man, I see how you're reaching people with this. But then as a whole, it's like, man, there's some people I feel like have so much to say and they don't say it. And I think now we're going to start seeing those people say this stuff because, I think people are becoming convicted, man. Seriously. So I'm excited for the future of it. There's a lot of young talent, and a lot of good hearts.
Worthy is the Lamb. You wore the crown of thorns on your head. Yeah, you ain't leave me here for dead. The Spirit revived me, He lives within. Father, I thank you for your plan. In the darkest of the waters, I was floating.
If you don't mind, I don't want you to brag on yourself too much here. Well, unless you want, I don't care. But what do you feel like you can bring uniquely to all of this, as an artist, as a musician, and also just as a man with your own beliefs and convictions?
Yeah, I think what people are going to get from me is a fight to convey the truth. And I don't just mean like preaching at people, but like the truth of knowing God and the peace and the joy and for me, I think that's what you're going to get is just like the fruit of somebody who's currently fighting to walk with God and fighting to know Him more. And I'm not perfect, but man, I'm so thankful for His grace in me and for Him living in me. And so I think that's what, you're going to get from me. I don't see myself as always being the guy who's going to make the next trendy song. I think you're going to get where He leads me to next. Don't get me wrong. I'm planning on putting out a lot of fun stuff for people because I've done a lot of deep things. So I was excited to just give people a fun array of songs. But even in those, you're going to see God's heart and you're going to see my hunger for Him. It's always going to be some type of fruit of my walk with God. I can say that, And one thing you'll always see from me as well is I'm always going to fight to bring in the next person, because I feel like there's a lot of people out here that are so talented, but more than that, are so gifted with just being able to communicate what God's done in their life. And so I want to highlight those people in my career. I want to highlight those people in my ministry. And so, man, that's something you always see from me for sure, is just highlighting other people, because that's big on my heart.
As I travel down the narrow road I'm walking on, I hear the gravel now. You took my heart of stone, you're the one that matters now. Just wanna know you, God, I can hear you calling out. I love you, son, help me accept it. I love you, son, I accept it.
That was Hulvey.
Check out his 2 full-length albums on Reach Records. They're called Coma and Christopher. They're out now. All right, stay tuned. Up next, it's The Truth Is Out There.
I know exactly how you turn out. It's so true. It's just another burnout.
You're listening to Grandma. The song is I Met God Online. Okay, it is time for
The Truth Is Out There.
Tyler, take it away.
All right, so because I have 2 primo conspiracy theorists to work with today, primo conspiracy theorists to work with today, I wanted to do a battle of conspiracy theories between you guys. I did not write one of my ridiculous intros because I really just write those to hear Cameron struggle through them. I'm not going to do that myself. I'm not going to do that. I don't have to worry about that. But this is called The Truth Is Out There. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to give each of you 3 conspiracy theories, one of which was later proven to be true. So there was an Exton conspiracy. One of these was proven to be accurate. 2 were not. And you have to decide which one was the real which conspiracy theory turned out to be factual. Make sense?
I'm with it. Let's get it.
Hey, this is just Jesse versus Derek, and
Jesse versus Jesse v. Derek, and you'll keep score. All right, yep, we got it. Okay. We'll start with you, Derek. You're first at bat, all right?
All right, let's get it.
Okay. First one, Operation Snow White. In the 1970s, thousands of Scientologists infiltrated various levels of the U.S. government to destroy unflattering records about the church and their founder, L. Ron Hubbard. All right? Operation Snow White.
Okay.
Number 2, the Candlewick Papers. The Continental Congress had originally nominated Ben Franklin to be the first U.S. president, but George Washington's goons pressured him into declining. All right? The Candlewick Papers. 3, the Kirk Files. During the 1960s, Star Trek creator Gene Roddenberry had to get approval from his Star Trek scripts to make sure none of the technology was too similar to actual existing NASA experiments. All right. Operation Snow White, the Candlewick Papers, or the Kirk Files. Which one turned out to be true?
I'm going Candlewick.
I'm sorry, the answer is Operation Snow White in the 1970s.
What?
At least 5,000 known Scientologists infiltrated various levels of the U.S. government to destroy unflattering records about the church and their founder, L. Ron Hubbard. It's the largest infiltration of the U.S. government in history.
Oh my goodness.
That's crazy.
Considering there's like 3 TV cable docuseries about how evil they are, I don't think the mission was that successful. So A&E is half Scientology documentaries these days. It's like murder investigations.
But that's now. Think about in the 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. We didn't know how evil Scientology was because of probably these efforts.
This is why it turns out, because they were caught doing it, which made the CIA go, well, why are they trying to destroy so much evidence here? So it backfired and they got more attention instead of less attention.
Wow.
All right. So Jesse, you're up.
Yep.
Okay. 1, Project Kingdom Force. The FBI asked Billy Graham to include anti-communist propaganda in his crusades, including comparing Karl Marx to Satan. All right. Project Kingdom Force. 2, the Gulf of Tonkin incident. In the 60s, the NSA faked a Vietnamese attack on U.S. naval ships to justify warfare in northern Vietnam to the public. All right? The Gulf of Tonkin incident. 3, TRL-NSA. During the War on Terror, MTV cooperated with the government to boost songs with patriotic and pro-America content. TRL-NSA.
All of these sound shockingly plausible to me. But my thinking is that it's the last one, the TRL one, the patriotic songs, because I do know there was a period where the military was commissioning like sort of recruitment songs. There was that really famous one by 3 Doors Down, that used to play before movies. That I think all the B-roll for the music video was like basically army recruitment. So I'm gonna go with the third. That seems most plausible to me. Though it
may have happened, but that has not been proven. But the Gulf of Tonkin incident in the 1960s, the NSA faked the Vietnamese attack on U.S. naval ships to justify expanding warfare in northern Vietnam. That one actually did happen. That was
you know what that reminds me of? Oh, they have weapons of mass destruction, so we need to invade to go find them.
Yep.
Where are they? Man, I remember the prophets, the Christian prophets, talking about like the hidden weapons that are going to be found and all this stuff. And nope, they never were. Anyway, all right. Hey, let's do one more round real quick. Then we'll wrap it up.
One more round real quick.
Back to Derek.
Okay. All right. Derek, make sure we got a good ones here. All right. All right. Number 1, gaydar. The Canadian government experimented with a real machine that they claim could detect same-sex orientation in people. Gaydar. 2, Leslie Knope. The White House axed several Parks and Rec scripts for being too unflattering to local government. Leslie Knope.
Okay.
3, the CIA tinkered with, this one doesn't have a name. The CIA tinkered with Instagram's algorithm to suppress pro-Marxist and anti-capitalist content. All right. So gaydar, a real gaydar, a working gaydar. 2, Leslie Knope. Several Parks and Rec scripts were axed because they were too unflattering to local government. And the CIA tinkered with Instagram's algorithm to suppress pro-Marxist and anti-capitalist content.
Well, there's a lot of anti-capitalist content that's out there, so I don't think it's that. And I think I'm asking myself, how did the government get the scripts for the Parks and Rec? So the only thing that really makes sense to me is the dumbest one of all, the gaydar one. So is that the one?
That's correct, Derek. You got it. Points on the board. Points on the board.
No way.
They called it. This is what they called it, and I apologize because I know this is not unkind, but they called it the fruit machine.
It's terrible. This is the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life.
It did not work, but they believed there was a link between being a member of the LGBTQ community and being a communist. So they figured if they could find one, they could find the other.
And all the way around on this is,
Canada, we got it from here. All right, let's just.
All right, and one more round, then we'll call it. All right, Jesse, you ready?
Yep.
All right. Number 1, the U.S. government was inspired to develop the Apache helicopter by a Nostradamus prophecy. Okay. All right. Number 2, the CIA co-wrote the Scorpions' Wind of Change to move public opinion during the Cold War. All right. And number 3, after Dolly Parton wrote 9 to 5, she was put under FBI surveillance as an anti-work sympathizer.
I actually listened to a fascinating podcast about this.
This
one's called Wind of Change, and it is the CIA may have written the Scorpions, a famous Scorpions ballad, to incite revolution behind the Iron Curtain, and it was reasonably successful.
And they were very successful. That is correct. That is what happened. It went it was a huge success for them, for the Scorpions and for the CIA.
Wow. Well, you guys have proven. See, the reason why we're calling this early is just because it's going to be a deadlock. These guys are equally proficient in their conspiracy theories. It's tie 1-1. This is part 1 of
The Truth Is Out There.
We'll come back to this one. We'll come back. There's a lot more.
This is a good one. This is a fun one. This is a fun one.
Well, before we wrap things up, I want to thank Hulvey for joining us. Make sure to check out his 2 new albums, Coma and Christopher. They're available wherever you listen to your music. Also, make sure to head over to relevantmagazine.com to check out our spring digital issue. The ad-supported version is available for free right there at the site, or you can sign up for Relevant Plus to get the enhanced edition, which is ad-free. Plus, you get a bunch of other amazing content, like I told you earlier in the show. But this new issue, it has Judith Lyon, Ryan Reynolds, Brooke Ligertwood, Adam McKay, Shauna Niequist, Bob. I mean, it's just packed. Channing Tatum didn't even make the cut of what I just said, and he's in there too. All right, so there's a lot. Go check it out. The spring issue of Relevance, it's out now. Also, make sure while you're at the site to swing by the faith section and check out Deeper Walk, our daily weekday devotional. It's presented by Lumo. We publish a new devotional there every weekday morning, or you can sign up for the Deeper Walk newsletter and get it sent to your inbox. It is a great way to start your day when you pick up your phone.
Also, hey, if you like this show, tell people. Wherever you listen, rate it and review it. It helps the algorithm, helps more people find it, and we love seeing the feedback. Also, if you're interested in working with us here at Relevant, we are actively hiring right now in several areas. You can find out all the information at relevantmediagroup.com. You can find out the job info and apply at that site. On that note, wrap it. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Derek Miner.
I'm Tyler Huckabee.
We'll see you next time. Have a good week, everyone.
Thanks for listening to the Relevant Podcast. Check out our features, interviews, and news updates every day at relevantmagazine.com. And make sure to follow Relevant on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest. For more great podcasts, browse the shows on the Relevant Podcast Network, which you can find at our site. And while you're there, don't miss the all-new era of Relevant Magazine. A new issue releases every other month at relevantmagazine.com.
Space Wizard, Bloody Axe, Christmas Wreath.
Relevant Podcast Network.